This is a 1999 Honda HR-V, a compact crossover made by Honda before the world really knew what compact crossovers were. One of my favourite things about this car is the fact that it has four-wheel drive, and I'm not talking about fake SUV four-wheel drive. I mean, this has legitimate pull you out of a ditch and up a mountainside four-wheel drive. They called this one the Joy Machine, which is a very bold name. Let's see if it lives up to the hype. Ladies and gentlemen, I come to you from inside the Honda HR-V, a vehicle that I've wanted to drive for a very, very long time. Part of the reason is I'm a sucker for 80s and 90s cars that have large, boxy back ends, and this most certainly has that. My Robin has it, the Volvo I looked at has it, the Aerodeck has it, the Honda Accord Estate has it. I don't know what it is, I just can't stop myself from idolizing vehicles that are boxy like that. This is an excellently maintained example. It's done just 105,000 miles, which is not bad for a 1999 vehicle. The Honda HR-V has a 1.6 litre inline-4 naturally aspirated petrol engine. This one puts out about 105 horsepower, but you could get a VTEC version with slightly more power. You also have a 0 to 60 time of, I believe, about 10 seconds, slightly over, which is not the fastest thing in the world, but it's definitely not slow. It's very spacious in here. It's kind of nice after doing a couple hours in the Robin. Handles all around, you have sun visors. The passenger gets a mirror, the driver doesn't. 12-volt port, several cup holders, a nice armrest here, which has storage underneath. You have storage for coins down there. Nets in your doors to put things. You've got electric mirror controls, electric window controls, central locking. It's surprisingly roomy. With the windows closed, I'm isolated from the harsh realities of the outside world. And I have to say the air conditioning is excellent. I can barely hear it, but I can definitely feel it even on a very hot day. This particular model has a 5-speed manual, but you could also get an automatic. The seat, you just kind of sink into it. It's very hard wearing, but at the same time incredibly comfortable. The owner of this vehicle, whose name is Simon, has been kind enough to let me have a go in it, even without any parental supervision, and I can see why he likes this car so much. The first thing I noticed is the lack of sensation from the road, in a good way. You're very high up off the ground, you have four-wheel drive and a lot of suspension between you and the road, and the noise deadening in here is phenomenal. Simon told me that when you get to traffic lights in this car, sometimes you may assume that the vehicle has stalled because it's so quiet. I have to report, he is correct. I cannot hear the engine. What's interesting is this particular car was actually used as a farm vehicle by the previous owner. When Simon bought this car, he did so with it needing a huge amount of work, specifically welding around the back wheels. That was done at some expense, perhaps offset slightly by the fact that the car was only £800 when he bought it. I've done lots of relaxed driving around villages and countrysides, and we're now on the motorway. I was perhaps assuming that a vehicle this big and boxy would perform sort of like a bus on a motorway, but I was wrong. Maybe it's the shape of the vehicle, the way it kind of slopes down to a point at the front, but this cuts through the air. I feel incredibly comfortable. I'm not having to expend any real energy to keep the car moving forwards, and if I do take my foot off the throttle, it just glides. The interior is very well appointed. You have leather all over the dashboard, on the steering wheel, on the gear shifter, hard-wearing, not cheap-feeling plastic around the dials and the stereo. You have a lovely little blue checkerboardy design on the dials that's mirrored here around these dials, and it's mirrored in the armrest, in the upholstery of the seat. It's tasteful, it's not overpowering. The cloth in the armrest here is super absorbent. It's ridiculously comfortable. I'm not normally a fan of material and cloth seats, but in this vehicle it makes sense. This is a four-wheel drive machine designed for off-road use, so it should be hard wearing. Despite the fact that the temperature outside is incredibly hot, the temperature gauge for the car is almost as low as it can be. No risk of overheating whatsoever. We're using about 3,000 revs to cruise along at 70 on the motorway. I'm getting a bit too cold now, oh my gosh. Let's talk about visibility because it is excellent. The wing mirrors are far bigger than they need to be. I have excellent visibility around the cabin. The rear view mirror up here is bigger than it needs to be. I can see everything extremely clearly. I just moved out for an overtake, put my foot down in fifth, and the car pulls lovely. It has more power than you'd ever realistically need. If you're enjoying this video, by the way, I would appreciate it massively if you could hit that subscribe button and let me know down in the comments, what kind of cars would you like to see me focus on in the future? You won't be able to see it from your position, but we are passing a modern Honda CR-V, and it is quite disappointing that I feel perhaps Honda has gone a little bit backwards when it comes to creativity. Their newer cars blend in with the rest of the vehicles on the road. I think that Honda would do well to remember that creativity does breed innovation, and making cars like this that look a little bit different to everything else is always going to be a good move with car enthusiasts. One of the things I've learned about Honda through my ownership of an Accord, as well as driving several for this YouTube channel, is that they are, in a sense, the most boring example of a car. Not because it's not creative, not because it doesn't look good, but because as soon as you get in one, whether it's an Accord Aero Deck, a HRV, or a more modern Accord, they just work, and they work well. There aren't really any things to poke fun at or to make a joke about, because the cars are designed impeccably. Honda is quickly becoming one of my favourite car manufacturers for this reason. And whilst today Honda may have subtly changed their ethos about design, don't let that change how you view this car, or in fact any of the Hondas of the past. They are excellently built, dependable workhorses. That's one reason why I'm a big fan of Honda. In fact, a car like this could very well end up on my driveway one day. The drive quality then is a lot like a Honda Civic on stilts. It doesn't move around as much as you'd expect. The body roll is no way near as intrusive as I'd have thought. Maybe it's because the car is high but also still relatively wide. In fact, I would be incredibly interested to see what one of these would look like if it were lowered. To find out a little bit more about the history of this vehicle, let's have a word with the owner. Simon, hello.
Hiya.
Welcome to the channel.
Nice to meet you, Louis.
And you. So this is your HRV. How long have you had it for?
So we've had it about 2 years, an everyday car for us. My partner uses it predominantly, but I do use it. I think I saw them on one of the motoring shows back in '98 probably, and I was like, wow, they're really off the wall, aren't they, in terms of design? Because there was nothing like it at the time. It was just its whole quirky looks and how tall it was, and I think it was the spoiler that did it, because I know there was some that didn't come with a spoiler, so the spoiler was actually, I think, an option on some.
Oh, wow.
So that's basically why I fell in love with it.
It wasn't for the four-wheel drive functionality?
Absolutely nothing. Most of my choices are made on looks, really. So, I particularly like the yellow that they come in, the yellowy bronze colour, which is really nice, but I couldn't find one at the time. This one's Supersonic Blue, I think it's called. There was a dog guard, exhaust trim extensions, and then body kit extensions as well, and a gold emblem. I don't know what you call that, all of the bling. Very quirky for its time, to be enjoyed at evenings and weekends.
The Joy Machine. The
Joy Machine, yeah. Going down to Ogmore there, we've done a bit of, there's a few sand dunes there that we've used, and then around here, which can be quite boggy and stuff. But it is quite good off-road. Obviously, fuel economy isn't great because it's permanent four-wheel drive as well, so you can't just turn it off and that.
So you've had it for like 2 years. In that time, what's the maintenance been like? Has it broken on you at all?
Minimal. Bushers on the back, track rod ends, and that has been it. It's just been general servicing, change the differential oil and filter service, and that's it. It just goes. It's one of those cars you can just turn the key and you can get on with it. So I was actually going to get the timing belt changed. I went in for a timing belt change. They dropped the engine mount because it's quite awkward because the timing belt's on this side. So it's quite close there. They opened it all up and they were like, this doesn't need doing. Like, the belt's pretty much looks brand new, the water pump looks brand new. It's K&M Automotive, so it's run by Khalid and Mark. Mark does all the MOTs, Khalid does all the walking around. He'll probably hate me for saying that. But no, they're really, really, really good garage. So they look after all our vehicles now. The stickers aren't standard, by the way.
Oh, what, those ones?
No, my partner makes them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she does them. When we bought this, it was in a bit of a mess. But all the stickers were peeling off the back, so we got all the measurements and everything for them. Hence why it's got the Joy machine on the boot handle as well. Very, very early ones did have Joy machine written on, but it was very, very short run. I always wanted the Joy machine on the back, so because in the brochure that's what it was called. It was called the Joy machine. I love it. It doesn't give us any trouble, and it is quite fun to drive. And I do love looking at it. It is a nice looking car.
Yeah.
And you don't see many of them about nowadays. We do get comments. So it's like, oh, what's that? You know, because obviously the younger generation won't remember these, but they tend to go, oh, that looks quite cool, that.
If someone came to you and said, here's a bottomless briefcase full of money.
Yeah.
You can use it only on modifying this car.
Yeah.
What would you do with it? What's your modification?
Oh my goodness. I don't know, actually. I would try and find that shower attachment I told you about. There was a shower attachment that when you open the tailgate, it clicks in and you can have like a shower at the beach or something. Even in the brochure, it doesn't mention it, but it was an option.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's not much I would want to do to it, really. I know some of the Honda boys would probably want a K20 swap it, you know.
Yeah. These headrests, I have to say, they are exceptionally plush and comfortable. The seats, the same applies. The dials have this two-tone blue checkerboard pattern, as do these dials, as does the horn. This, I have to tell you, is one of the most comfortable armrests I've ever used. It's so comfy. It's amazing. Just tons and tons of room back there. Plenty of space for proper, fully grown adults to sit. Big wide windows. It's kind of like a box. There's your mirror. The wing mirrors are nice and big, and those are electrically adjustable right here. Oh, and there's your media center over here. Well, I think this is a wonderful car. I want to thank you very much for your time.
No worries at all.
And for letting me have a go in it. That was great fun. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure to share this time with you. If you've been enjoying all these motoring based YouTube videos I've been doing, then as I said earlier, please drop a like and consider subscribing, because that lets YouTube know to show my video to more people. If you or someone that you know have an interesting car from days gone by, get in touch, because I'd absolutely love to feature it on the channel. I don't think I have much else to say, so I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Dino Dude Rocket out.
Picture ride.
She's gone through the windscreen, I think. Oh dear.
Yeah, I want one. Yeah, can't have one.
Yeah.